Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to round 28 of the 2020 schedule. We're here at Atlanta, and hometown hero Jake Baskinger has taken a very important pole position for today's race. He'll start alongside Ryan Griffin. Baskinger comes in this race 12 points, trailing Luke Martin. Luke Martin, he'll be starting in 4th position. Martin trying to close out that first Sony Cup Series title. 5 wins on the season, tied with Jake Baskinger. Both of them are neck and neck. With Matthew Rodriguez 20 points back, he'll need to have a great show this afternoon. James Shelley's 4th in the points, but he's over 70 points back. You can safely say this is a 3-horse battle with 3 races remaining. Baskinger, Griffin the front row. Turner's there in row 2 alongside Luke Martin. Shelley Acosta, Silver Fox with a great run in qualifying, with Zach Rogers, DJ Curtis, and Chris Dodd making up the top 10. But the season is closing down, and silly season continues to heat up off the racetrack as we get set for 2021. Details: Luke Martin will not be racing for United Emirates Racing next season. He hasn't even signed for next season, so we don't know where he's going to be going, but we know that he's got like 5 options in the Cup Series, and then many other options in the lower categories. But Luke Martin focused on this race weekend, trying to get the best result possible. We know he has finished runner-up in the championship 5 times. These final 3 races are pressure cooker to Martin and his hopes of finally getting that first title. Let's get down to start the race. 100 laps of racing today. Jake Baskinger on pole. His team has brought him a rocket. And Jake Baskinger, he's hoping he's the one that will take the championship. Baskinger, the only one of the front 3 in the championship that have won a title already. Baskinger to green flag. We're racing for round 28. Martin with a big move, up to the inside of Ryan Griffin. 3 wide further back, but Jesse Turner's to the inside on Jake Baskinger. Cars fanning out on the tri-oval. Across the start-finish line, Jesse Turner will lead lap 1 of the race. But Luke Martin squeezing up the gap. How about Matthew Rodriguez on the inside? Rodriguez needs a good show this afternoon. James Fox getting a big push from that Napa Camry. Here he comes to the inside of Luke Martin. The inside groove's where you want to be. The Turner Performance cars shooting up the gap and into 1, 2, 3. Turner Performance looking so good. Man, that 9 car very loose on the inside. Matthew Rodriguez in the 9. Digging hard, trying to get to the front. Luke Martin's cleared of the traffic. Martin setting out after James Shelley. Here he comes to the inside for 3rd place. No challenge. Martin takes over 3rd position. James Fox with a great start in the race. He's in the top 5. But championship contender Matthew Rodriguez, lap 4 in the race. He wants to get in the top 5. A great start from 11th place into the top 5 for Matthew Rodriguez. Some more frantic 3-wide battle. Here comes Young to the inside on Weeks. John Art's there. Eric Tamax and Dejon Weeks nearly making contact. They are nearly 4 wide with Jeffrey Lynn and Noah Hart. Hometown veterans are all around here. Anthony Marquez is in the 38 this weekend. There's Bobby Jones a little ways back. Nick Mason, the 48, really struggling this weekend in the 48. He's at the back of the field. But the leaders, it is Turner leading, but Baskinger's getting passed by Luke Martin. Martin shooting to 2nd place. He's got a very fast car in the early going. Passes Jake Baskinger, Matthew Rodriguez. The top 3 in the standings, right there together. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Cody Lamas, Ryan Acosta. They have joined the battle. There's the Allen Family Racing Team cars going after James Shelley. Dylan Young with a great opening start. He's shot up into the top 10, looking competitive. He's on the inside of Chris Dodd. Here comes Cody Lamas. Lamas to the inside on Matthew Rodriguez. Here comes Ryan Acosta, gonna make it 3 wide. Oh, and Jake Baskinger taking a peek to go 4 wide, backs out of it. Very smart driving by Jake Baskinger. He knows it's early in the race. He needs to manage his race car. You can't win the race on lap 7, but you can certainly lose it. Here comes Ryan Griffin, Dylan Young. There comes James Shelley. Dodd and Art have a fantastic run on the straightaway. They're all on top of each other, looking nearly 4 wide again. Griffin gonna back out of it on his teammate. No, he's not. Oh, Cody Lamas nearly getting shoved in the wall. They're on top of each other. Baskinger and Rodriguez not where they want to be right now. That is a hornet's nest. And Baskinger's in the middle of that. Matthew Rodriguez shoved up high. Rodriguez had a great start, but he is losing touch. They're 3 wide. Rogers and Art with a big move to the inside. The caution flag is out. So there has been an incident on the racetrack, a big crash down the back straightaway, it seems. That is Scott Roush in the 03 car, and the hopes of getting in the positive digits in the standings, in the owner points, seems all for naught. And Roush and S3 Motorsports might not have what it takes to finish in the positive digits of points for this season. Here's what happened. Dejon Weeks slides into Kyle Collins. Both of them go up into the outside wall. Off turn 2, Anthony Marchese hits Dejon Weeks in a big crash. There's Collins and Harple. Sean Harple in the 27 goes barrel rolling. And Ian Dutta just piling into Kyle Collins, but Sean Harple went for a wild ride. Here's how it happened. Down into turn 1, Eric DeMax back here racing with Vince Freeze, but Dejon Weeks just pushes up. I don't know if he thought Collins wasn't there. Marchese hits him, and then a lot of cars come piling in. Man, they just come flying in. Harple, that big barrel roll down the back straightaway at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And Sean Harple, another mediocre season for Harple. Tough break for the first ever Hardee's National Series champion. Harple hoping for better luck at United Emirates Racing next season. A return back to home. And back to home it will be, and hopefully better memories will be made for him in 2021 because he has had a poor rough showing in the FBRL the last couple of seasons. On board with Dejon Weeks. Yeah, it just looked like maybe Weeks thought he was clear, gassed it up, and Collins was there. And over the roof of NOS Energy Dodge of Dejon Weeks, and there's Harple, there's Ian Dutta. Pit stops on lap 10 of the race. Strategy will play a hand. At the beginning of this season, tracks of 2 miles under will all get treated with that new tire compound, and next season, all the racetracks will have that new tire compound. Dylan Young with some sort of strategy. He didn't take 4 tires. So a lot of different strategy being played. Here comes Turner trying to leave pit road. Dylan Young's up there with them, guys. Acosta getting the jump on Art and Lamas. But Jake Baskinger in the 97, a long pit stop for him. Some sort of adjustments was made on that 97. They were on pit road for a long time. So as we get back to the restart, Jesse Turner's still the race leader. Dylan Young second. Luke Martin's third. Ryan Acosta fourth. Following up the top 5 is John Art, Cody Lamas, James Shelley, Zach Rodgers, Matthew Rodriguez, Dylan Schwellenberg making up the top 10. Then it's Eric Burton, Jeffrey Lynn, Alex Bianco, Jeffrey White, Jake Baskinger, Ryan Griffin, Chris Dodd. James Orfox ran to the back of somebody on pit road. I seen that when it happened, but I wasn't entirely sure who it was, but it was Orfox. Jeff James and Vince Freeze. The top 20, we are back in racing. And Dylan Young in the 1 car, throwing a big hard block on Luke Martin. And that big push off turn 2 is going to soar the Hooters forward into the race lead, possibly. Dylan Young and this race team have high hopes of finishing the year out strong. He won at North Wilkesboro, possibly off of strategy, really, but that car was a top 5 car near the end. Young and Turner side by side. John Art going by his teammate of Luke Martin. 3 wide nearly for a second. Zach Rodgers had to give way, but Dylan Young still side by side. Turner soaring around the outside. That car is hooked up. That 17 car looks so good. If he can rotate that car this early in the run on the high side, you know that 17 is going to be tough to beat this afternoon. Dylan Young slides in turn 1. That's allowed Turner to get away. Turner hangs on. Dylan Young thought he had that covered, but wasn't able to do it. And here comes John Art with a push from Cody Lamas. Cody Lamas has looked very good in the last handful of races. He's looked a little bit better than his teammate of DJ Curtis. And with Cody Lamas signing on a deal for next season to be with this race team, Lamas looks to be the veteran driver with Jeffrey White coming on board. White is in this race in the 33 car, and he's actually making good progress up the field. He's in the top 15, racing alongside one of the best drivers on this grid, Jake Baskinger. He's on the march back to the front in that 97 car. And championship contenders, Matthew Rodriguez getting past of Luke Martin. And here comes another contender, Jake Baskinger is moving his way to the front. Some adjustments are working to Jake Baskinger's advantage. He's to the inside of Dylan Schwillenberg and to the inside of Luke Martin. Martin is heading backwards. He was at the lead. Now he's outside of the top 10. And Cody Lamas going to the inside on John Art. That is a battle for second place. And Cody Lamas he has been so good on the 1.5 mile racetracks. He could have won at Kansas earlier in the season. He led very early at Chicagoland. Cody Lamas always gets around here on tracks like this. And Lamas is up to second place and on the pursuit of Jesse Turner. But John Art trying to get back at him, but not a challenge there. It is Lamas trying to set out on Jesse Turner. Keeping track on the third CM Racing driver. How about Alex Bianco? He's following his way towards the front. Bianco's inside the top 10. He's in 8th place. He had a great run going at Chicagoland, and here he is at Atlanta in a special race scheme in this Hardee's car. He's a Hardee's National Series champion, the outgoing Hardee's National Series champion. He's racing with Dylan Young for position, so CM Racing has 2 cars in the top 10. Look at John Art. He wants to get a race win for CM Racing before the season is out, and he heads over to Allen Family Racing Team. They're side by side for second place. Matthew Rodriguez and Jake Baskinger nose to tail from 4th and 5th place. Where is Luke Martin at? Luke Martin has been heading backwards. He's in 13th place. And here comes Chris Dodd in the 44 car. And Dodd down to his inside, but can't make anything happen. Luke Martin cannot afford to be running outside the top 10. Whatever is a miss on that 0 car, they need to get it adjusted, because he is heading backwards. He was at the lead front. John Art getting by Cody Lamas. And Matthew Rodriguez might be able to get by Cody Lamas. Baskinger took a peek. Baskinger looks better than Matthew Rodriguez, but Rodriguez trying to keep Baskinger behind him. Rodriguez needs to be ahead of Jake Baskinger in this race. He needs to be ahead of Baskinger and Martin to gain some points. 20 points seems like a lot, but really 20 points is from 1st to 10th on the racetrack, so it can be made up easily. But Baskinger around the outside on Rodriguez. Baskinger trying to pinch him down. Rodriguez got a little bit more of an ill-handling race car, and Baskinger powers around the outside. Baskinger has such a good car. Turner Performance Racing, all of them are inside the top 7, looking so good. Along with the 2 Chevys of Lamas and Art, trading second place back and forth. Here comes Lamas again. Another punch thrown at John Art CM Racing Chevy. Lamas throwing a big block on Jake Baskinger, but he gives him the space. Oh, and here comes Baskinger. He's going to take it too if you give Baskinger that much room. Jake Baskinger, this is a home race for him. And he's to the inside of Cody Lamas. And this is a Ford versus a Chevy. And we know how Baskinger is. Baskinger's just going to take this away. And Baskinger's in the second. Matthew Rodriguez trying to push his way past Cody Lamas. He clears him, trying to get up another position. Matthew Rodriguez it just looks like he is trying his hardest to carry that race car, because you see nothing but 4 Turner Performance cars, and then you see 3 Chevys with Art, Lamas, and then you have Alex Bianco behind him. DJ Curtis not that far behind either. So Matthew Rodriguez, you have to go all the way back to Dylan Schwellenberg, who is losing a top 10 place to DJ Curtis at the moment. But Rodriguez Racing, you can tell they are just a tad off compared to the Turner cars and the 2 Chevy cars. But Rodriguez is fighting as hard as he can. We have a battle for the lead. Jake Baskinger doing what he has to do this afternoon. Go after a race win. And he's to the inside of his teammate Jesse Turner. And as much as Turner wants to get a win this afternoon, I'm sure he would be perfectly content with seeing his race car driver get ever so closer to getting a championship for the race team. And Baskinger clears him and into the race lead. As the laps continue to tick away, the Turner Performance drivers are trying to team up. They have such good race cars. Look at them. Just pulling the gap. Pit stops are looming. They are going to be pitting very, very soon. But Baskinger and Turner drafting around this racetrack, not trying to challenge one another. Art and Lamas trying to hang on to them. The draft is very important, even still, at Atlanta. The draft is important. You get a good draft on somebody, and it'll help you down the straightaway. But Turner's content with riding behind Baskinger. Art and Lamas trying to hang in with them. Matthew Rodriguez back to the inside of Zach Rodgers. That's for 5th place. But they have lost touch with the front 4. DJ Curtis moving his way up the running order. He's up to 6th place past the 99. Then there's Shelley, Dylan Schwellenberg, and Dylan Young. Jeffrey White in the 33 really doing wonders in the first 38 laps for Curtis Racing. And with Jeffrey White moving up to the Cup Series level, this is showing great promise for him in this 33 car to be outrunning Luke Martin. And with Martin in 12th place, this is a horrid run for Luke Martin at this current moment. Here comes a load of leaders on pit road on lap 40. Jake Baskinger, Cody Lamas, DJ Curtis, James Shelley. A lot of the leaders are on pit road. 1 lap later, just only 1 lap it took for the rest of the field to come down pit road. There's Jesse Turner and John Art. Cody Lamas came on pit road with Jake Baskinger. Here he comes trying to beat him off pit road, but Baskinger's gonna get him. How good is the undercut strategy by 1 lap gonna do for these 2 drivers? We're gonna see where everyone lines up. Here's Baskinger and Lamas, a big undercut by even 1 lap. 1 lap is all it took for Baskinger and Lamas to surge ahead. John Art beat Jesse Turner on pit road. And Matthew Rodriguez, DJ Curtis, Jeffrey White, Charles Sanford. A phenomenal pit stop for him. He's in the top 10 with Dylan Schwellenberg. And then I believe Chris Dodd might be in the top 10 as well. We're waiting for the timing and scoring to reset. Not quite. Dodd in the 44. Actually, yes, he is. There he is in 9th place. Is that right? No, Sanford's a lap down. Sorry, folks. I thought Sanford had gotten such a great strategy, but he is a lap down. I'm not sure what has happened to Charles Sanford. But anyway, lap 45, we have Baskinger and Lamas closing up on halfway in the race. Baskinger is going to be trying to close down on that 97. Baskinger is pacing this field. He is not allowing anybody to close on him. John Art's 3rd, Jesse Turner, Matthew Rodriguez, Curtis White, Schwellenberg, DeMax, Dodd the top 10. Then it is Ryan Griffin at 11th, Noah Hart in 12th, Alex Bianco 13th, James Shelley, Zach Rodgers making up the top 15, Dylan Young 16th, and Luke Martin. A disaster run in this championship battle. He is down in 17th. Whatever is wrong with this 0 car, they need to step it up. Adjustments were made on that 0 car during that pit stop. And Luke Martin, he had a championship drive at Martinsville. A championship defining moment at Martinsville to really take it back and really take it in his own accord to win that race. And here he is to the inside of Dylan Young. He's on the inside of James Shelley. He needs to carry that momentum to also get by Zach Rodgers. This is a battle for 14th place. But Luke Martin, it is still, we still have half the race to go. And Luke Martin digging on the inside of Zach Rodgers. It is not over until that checkered flag is waved, and Martin has to keep on digging. Here he is working on another race car driver, his teammate Alex Bianco. It should be an easy pass, and it will be. Luke Martin going by. Last year's Hardee's National Series champion going right on by. Matthew Rodriguez has been setting some blistering fast lap times. Matthew Rodriguez just blew right by John Art and Jesse Turner, and DJ Curtis nearly turned the 3 car. Jeffrey White, what a run he's having in 7th place. But Matthew Rodriguez has been the fastest race car on the racetrack. And Rodriguez needs to have somebody about as fast as him behind him drafting, because drafting is very important. Even though you're off the throttle here and there in Atlanta, this is still such a fast racetrack, and it really could help you if you have somebody that you're drafting with, like Lamas is on the 97. But we're going to see how much further back Matthew Rodriguez is on this occasion. 3.71 and 3.72. So even though Rodriguez has no traffic ahead of him, he does not have really anybody behind him. They're racing for 4th place behind him. So Rodriguez does not have the kind of help he needs to be able to run down Baskinger and Lamas. Luke Martin working on another race car. Here comes Martin to the inside of Chris Dodd. That's a position to move up to 12th place. So it seems like Martin is moving back up the order some. He is not just stalled midfield. He is coming back up, closing in on a top 10 run as he closes in on Dylan Schwellenberg and Ryan Griffin. We mentioned it earlier, Jeffrey White running in 7th place. That's a good run for him. Boys, man, Eric Tamax ran right up on the back bumper of Charles Sanford. But Noah Hart in the Rodriguez Racing Camry, this 54 car, he is running in 9th place. A good run for the hometown hero. Noah Hart always showing out in this Rodriguez Racing car. Usually able to extract a top 10 result out of this machine. How much is Rodriguez going to be willing to pay this guy to be able to put him behind the wheel of a full-time car? This guy's always getting the best result possible. So is Luke Martin, though, for CM Racing. Powering back. This is for a 10th place. Luke Martin getting back in the top 10. This is exactly what him and his race team need. Right now, Martin needs to get back up to at least 6th place to be level on points. But if he wants to keep the championship lead at this current moment, Martin needs to claw back to a top 5 run. He cannot finish anywhere outside the top 5 if Baskinger wins to lose the championship lead. Martin's cleared of Hart and Griffin. Now he's working on Eric Tamax, cuts to the inside, and Luke Martin looks like he's going to get back up to 8th place. With no challenge for the 3rd place, Matthew Rodriguez is trying to set out the leaders himself, but he is losing time to Baskinger and Lamas. Lamas, though, you can just tell that Baskinger's in another zip code. It will take something incredible to shake Baskinger out of the lead. But Cody Lamas is right there within striking distance. He just has to keep in touch and hope that Baskinger bobbles or he loses momentum and gets in front of him somehow. Martin working on another race car. Here he comes to the inside of Jeffrey White. In 7th place, it is done. And Martin, again, just really not giving up. It is incredible. This guy was so slow at that point before pit stops. He was dropping through the field. He had a poor pit stop. He fell all the way down to 16th. And here he comes working on Jesse Turner. Martin passing Turner for 6th place. Man, what a poor result it was looking like for Martin. He is fighting back. And right now, him and Baskinger are tied at the top of the championship standings. And he's not stopping there. Here he comes for a top 5 run to the inside of John Hart. And Luke Martin is back in the top 5 and back in the championship lead. And here comes the leaders down pit road on lap 69. Baskinger down pit road, Lamas follows him, and Luke Martin stays out. But the very next lap later, Luke Martin comes down pit road with John Hart as well. So it'll be 29 laps to go. These guys are going to be running about 30 laps. So these guys should be able to make it all the way from here. Cody Lamas has gotten the jump on Jake Baskinger. Lamas is ahead of Jake Baskinger with 30 laps to go. Curtis Racing beat Turner Performance on pit road. But now, Jake Baskinger is going to have to use all of that speed of that Ford it has to run that Chevy down and try and get past of Cody Lamas. And it's not really taking much time. We're down 25 laps to go when we get down to the stripe. Lamas leads over Jake Baskinger, just that close. You see it. Baskinger's already looking to shape up a pass on that 4-car. Matthew Rodriguez all by himself, hoping, praying, some way he can find a way to get up to the front too. Luke Martin is up to 4th place with DJ Curtis, John Hart, Noah Hart, Jeffrey White, and Alex Bignacco. Bignacco, White, and Hart for these guys to be 7th, 8th, and 9th. Great runs that they are having today. And in 10th place, it is Jesse Turner. Outside of it is Eric DeMax, Ryan Griffin, Dylan Schwellenberg, Chris Dodd, and Dylan Young, the top 15. Then Zach Rodgers, Jeffrey Lynn, Ryan Acosta, Richard Johnson, James Shelley. Shelley's dropped a ways. He was very fast earlier. Jordan Fisher, Jeff James. Then Vince Freeze. Vince Freeze is in the battle for Rookie of the Year. He is trying to beat Alex Bignacco. He is 8 points clear of him currently. Then Eric Burton. Burton's having a pretty off day in that 88 car. He is not looking all too well, but Dylan Young, on the contrary, is doing very well. Zachary Fitzwater racing Burton very hard for 24th. Dom Capps is there in 26th. Bobby Jones, Nick Mace, and James Sorfox all racing together for 27th place. And those are all the cars on the lead lap. Bro's a lap down, Shrigley's a lap down, Sanford's 4 laps down with some sort of problem, and everyone else is out of the race. And you see when we cut away, Jake Baskinger is back in the race lead, and here is why. Baskinger was able to get the inside of Cody Lamas, and Baskinger drove it to the inside, but Lamas didn't give it away without a fight. Just watch this. They were side by side, but Lamas really drove it around the outside and 1 and 2. He was not just going to give this to Baskinger. Door to door with one of the best drivers in the Sony Cup Series, Cody Lamas and Jake Baskinger. Baskinger trying to get the 2nd championship this season. He really needs to stamp in a 6th win of 2020 to really put himself in a big favorite to be the champion this season. And Baskinger made the pass right here, but Lamas on that outside is really coming in, that high side is, but he was forced to give it up. Riding on board with Cody Lamas. He's trying some way to be able to set up this pass on Jake Baskinger. And with 20 laps to go, can Cody Lamas find a way to get by the 97? Baskinger looks very good, but here's Lamas. He's entering high, trying to be able to get some sort of run on Jake Baskinger. Lamas, oh man, he is really digging hard in turn 3 and 4. But you see Baskinger able to dictate the line around the racetrack, but a big draft down the straightaway, and here he comes tucking out for the race lead. Cody Lamas trying to take it away, and for the race lead, Cody Lamas is able to strike back at Jake Baskinger. Brilliant stuff, the front 2 going at it. Baskinger way up high, almost in the gray. He lost a lot of momentum there. And Cody Lamas is back in the race lead. Lap cars, though, for Cody Lamas might come into play. Here comes Jake Baskinger back behind the 4-car. Lamas is going to need to defend. Oh, here comes Baskinger down the inside. And there it is. Oh, but Cody Lamas shut the door. Lamas trying to get by Mace Jones and Silver Fox. So Cody Lamas is able to keep the lead there. Jake Baskinger definitely looks so much better than Cody Lamas. But if Lamas can throw some mean blocks on that 97, he might stand a chance. This 4-car is not slow. It is not a slow race car. We know Curtis Racing brings some very fast machines, but the power of the Turner Performance car definitely is very apparent, and we know how Jake Baskinger is. So Baskinger definitely looks very hungry behind the wheel of that Bang Ford to be able to try and take this race lead back with 15 laps to go. Can Cody Lamas hang on? For Rodriguez and Luke Martin, what a day of trial and error for them in the championship fight. Jake Baskinger just up ahead in second place, but challenging Cody Lamas. Lamas trying to block Baskinger. Oh, and actually that's James Sorfox and Nick Mace. They're right on the back bumper trying to get their lap back. Sanford really held them up. Here it comes. Oh, man. Baskinger nearly got in the back bumper of Cody Lamas. But top 3 in the championship. Second, third, and fourth. Baskinger. Right now, he is gaining 2 points on Matt Rodriguez and 4 points on Luke Martin. At least gaining them back and gaining points on Rodriguez. This is the pass that Lamas did not want to see Baskinger be able to make on him. As we come back to the line, to be 12 laps to go. Was there a spin in turn 2? Jesse Tunner has spun. Here's what happened with Jesse Tunner. He was trying to get around Alexander Rowe. Alex Pignacco, DJ Curtis. Oh, contact with Rowe. And Jeffrey White got into him. Spins down to the wall. And Jesse Tunner goes for a whole 360. And no caution flag. Wow. So Jesse Tunner limping back to pit road. This is 2 weeks in a row that Jesse Tunner has suffered some big issues. And this is going to be more points lost for him. Lap 90 on the board. Jake Baskinger made that pass on Cody Lamas. Lamas now has to try and find another way past him. But with the way the 97 and Turner Performance has been this race, it's going to be a tall task. Lamas has done well to be able to challenge Baskinger, but this might be the moment where Baskinger says, all right, you've had enough. You're not getting back by me again. And with the championship on the line like it is, Baskinger needs to get this win. At this point, Jake Baskinger, he is closing 8 points on Martin. Luke Martin holds a 4-point advantage on Jake Baskinger. Was that Jeffrey White pitting? Jeffrey White has a cut tire in the closing laps. That contact with him and Jesse Tunner has cut down the tire on that 33 car. And more issues for Charles Sanford. He's been on and off pit road all day. But Jeffrey White, a tough break. This is another race, just like at Darlington. He had a strong race car there, but just unfortunate circumstances. Chris Dodd and Dylan Schwellenberg, late in the race, are powering towards the front, at least to try and get into the top 5. Alex Pignacco is in 5th place. Chris Dodd's in 6th. Dylan Schwellenberg looking to get 7th place away. He's to the inside of DJ Curtis. And then the battle for 9th. Ryan Griffin to the inside of John Arndt. Just outside of it, Eric DeMax is in 11th. Noah Hart in 12th. 13th Young, 14th is Zach Rodgers. But Chris Dodd setting out to try and run down Alex Benyako for 5th place. Look at this, Luke Martin. He is running down Matthew Rodriguez. Luke Martin needs to be able to get past Matthew Rodriguez, and Rodriguez, vice versa, is going to really want to be able to keep Martin behind him. At this point, Matthew Rodriguez is 18 points trailing Luke Martin. And if Rodriguez can finish ahead of him, he gains 2 points. If he finishes behind him, he loses 2 points. So, 18 points back or 22 back. There's Jeffrey White. He's got fresh tires. He's going to go by Luke Martin. This is going to hurt him to be able to make that pass on Matthew Rodriguez. Alex Benyako is doing a great job to be able to defend against Chris Dodd. Chris Dodd, one of his, I believe, his first top 5 of the series came here in 2018 at Atlanta. He's trying to get it back to the inside of Alex Benyako. But Benyako racing against Chris Dodd. Dodd's going to get this position away. And Benyako, his first top 5 in the Sony Cup Series, slipping away in the closing laps. Cody Lamas has got to run. He's got to run. Here he comes to the inside. The Baskinger throws the block. All the way to the inside on the apron almost goes Jake Baskinger to be able to try and keep him behind him. Lamas is throwing a big challenge late in the race to get by Baskinger. And Matthew Rodriguez in the number 9. He's coming down pit road. Matthew Rodriguez is coming down pit road, signaling to pit road. Matthew Rodriguez, is there an issue on the number 9? Matthew Rodriguez is down pit road. DJ Curtis is also on pit road. Can these guys make it on gas? Are these guys short on fuel? Looks as though some drivers are short on fuel. Noah Hart is also on pit road. The leaders stay out. Is Luke Martin going to have to come down pit road? That is a big deal if he does. No, he doesn't. Luke Martin does not have to pit. Cody Lamas to the inside of Jake Baskinger. Side by side and for the race lead for the win at Atlanta. Baskinger needs to get this win. He is just ahead of Martin. He wants this win, but Lamas riding Baskinger up the hill. Baskinger and Lamas to the stripe. Off turn 4. It's going to be car 4. Lamas rides him up a hill again, and it's Lamas. Cody Lamas takes the win on the final lap. And Lamas gets the victory and takes it away from Jake Baskinger. Fuel strategy at the end of the race, but it does not affect Luke Martin. Martin gets it to the checkered flag. 3rd place. 4th for Chris Dodd, and 5th for Alex Benyako. He gets that top 5 back. Dylan Schwellenberg 6th. John Hart 7th. Ryan Griffin, Eric Tamax, and Zach Rodgers. But heartbreak for Matthew Rodriguez. Rodriguez could not make it to the checkered flag on fuel. And with that, possibly out of the championship fight now. The championship fight for Matthew Rodriguez looks like it's going to end at Atlanta. But Cody Lamas, he tried and tried and tried, and finally was able to make it work, coming to the white flag. Here it was in replay. Coming to the white flag, Baskinger pushes up off turn 4. The white flag is flying. Final lap in the race. And Lamas heading off into turn 1. The bottom has been the place to be all race, but Baskinger pinching him down. That is a good groove to be in, the middle groove. And so he was trying to be able to keep him there. That middle groove has worked for Baskinger all race, and Lamas took it from him. Lamas went to the middle and put Baskinger up the hill. and Lamas getting the run off, but Baskinger tried to challenge back, but Lamas was able to get him at the checkered flag, and third career win and second win of the season for Cody Lamas. Curtis Racing another checkered flag. That is huge. Oh, that is very, very huge for Lamas and Curtis Racing to challenge that race team like they did and take it away from Jake Baskinger. And really for Baskinger, in the end for him, he finished second. And in the race at one point, he looked like he was going to take the championship lead or gain a lot of points on Martin. Instead, Jake Baskinger will leave this race second in the championship and 10 points behind Luke Martin. Luke Martin holds on to the championship lead. We have 2 races left in the 2020 season. Let's get you to our finishing results and standings with Rockingham and Charlotte left in this season. Next week, we have the week off, and then we return for Rockingham and Charlotte to decide the champion for 2020.